what's going on, everyone? Fish Talk Live tonight. We got a special episode tonight for y'all. Super glad you can make it. So what we do every week is we ask for everybody to share out, see if we can get 100 shares, 100 viewers on this episode. That would be awesome. Tonight we're doing something a little different, but stick around into the intro so I can tell you all about it. Go ahead and make those shares out. Yeah. All right, everybody. Tonight should be a really interesting episode. We have something a little different for you. Pretty exciting, but we are spinning to win tonight. We have that all ready for you to... So if you're an admin of a group or a page and you'd like to share this content out, help spread the word about Fish Talk Live, feel free to do that right now. I'm getting ready to start the show. And if you'd like a mention of your group or your page or your business or whatnot on Fish Talk Live, reach out to us at the Fish Talk Live page. Send us a personal message or a page message, and we'll get that out. Okay, we got ready to start up this. There we go. How's it going, everybody? Dave Gould here with a special episode of Fish Talk Live tonight. Doing something just a little different. How's it going, everyone? So we are actually on episode, this would be like 51, but we're going to call this episode rerun number 1. We are going to rerun episode number 2 tonight. But we are going to go ahead and have our spin to win. So, like, if this is your first time showing up, what is Fish Talk Live? Fish Talk Live is a live, multi-stream, gamified show. We're on Twitch, on YouTube, Periscope, LinkedIn. And normally we have Ron Demers on tonight. So Ron is not with us tonight. He is out taking care of some family business in I almost said Chicago, South Carolina. So big shout out to Ron. We're thinking about you tonight, buddy. Wishing you the best and all of that. So like I said, we are going to rerun episode number 2, which was an awesome episode. I don't know if you guys remember that one, but that's the episode about Lake Malawi. The Great African Rift Lakes, including Lake Malawi, Lake Tanganyika, and Lake Victoria. So that was kind of a pre-header kind of episode that was moving into more specialized for each one of those, where we talked about the lakes and all that. Sorry about my green screen. It's kind of weird right now. Sometimes it's picking up my hands and sometimes it's not. But anyway, so let's see who's on right now, and so I can give some shout outs and see what's going on here. Let me pull that up and just see what's going on. Feel free to light up the chat, put your name in there, tell us where you're from, tell us what kind of fish tanks you keep, what kind of fish you like to keep, all of that good stuff. Let's give Ron, I'm sure, he either might be able to be on, but I'm not sure if he's got enough internet to do that, but I'm sure at some point he'll watch this. So if you have a message you'd like to send out to Ron, thinking about you while you're having to deal with some pretty tough stuff right now. I just personally, I don't know if you can tell how red I am, but I just personally, this last week, I had an allergic reaction to some food. So all over me, you can see on my arm, I got this, it's just crazy insanity in breakout rash and things like that. So I was going to put the rash filter on, which was kind of cool. So, it's like something like, here we go, Dave with the rash. Yeah, that's what I look like this weekend. Anyway, yeah. So, some shout outs for y'all. Let's see who's on here. It does take me a little while, and since I don't have all that. Whoa. Sorry about my green. Okay. Oh, good looks. Looks like we got 31 people on. I'm not seeing the chat, of course. That's always the case. They kind of change things on my iPad, so it makes it kind of rough. Let me just pull it up here on my... So if you're just tuning in now, we are going to rerun episode number 2, which was just an awesome... There's tons of really good information, but also a lot of information about the lake, the Great Rift Lakes and all of that. I'm still trying to find out who's on so I can give some good shouts here. Here we go. All right. Let's mute that. Okay, cool. How awesome is that? So it looks like I'm seeing Kaylee Nyberg. What's going on, Kaylee? One of our moderators, Walt Leonard. Hey, Walt in North Cal. We got Kevin Phoenix saying you definitely look better, Dave. Thank you very much, Kevin, for that. Crystal Fowler, she's in Kentucky. She's got an Mbuna tank. Special shout out to you. Glad you're on with us. Matt, Gin, and Whiskey. Glad I'm feeling better. Thank you for those wishes. Arno Weir from Heidelberg, Germany. So international viewer. Thank you so much, Arno. Mindy Pulse is here. James Smith. Kevin Furr. Gary Duncan, Scott DeFore. What's up, Scott? Big shout out to all those people. Matt, Scott, James, Mindy, Kaylee, all moderators for Ron's Facebook group, Ron Demers Cyclic Clubhouse, which is an awesome group. If you haven't joined or if you're looking for a new Facebook group that doesn't have any drama and doesn't put up with a lot of BS, give that group a try. It's pretty awesome. It's a really killer core group. And I've been noticing lately, so, I'm the social media manager for Ron's group for his platform. And, I've been noticing lately that there's a lot of activity on the Cyclic Clubhouse right now. Pretty cool. Hey, I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine in Alabama and his awesome daughters. So big shout out.
Mackenzie Reedon, I love FishTalk Live.
That's awesome.
Hi, my name is Shayla and I love FishTalk Live.
That's awesome. So everyone, I'm standing out here with our good friend and local fish keeper, Mr. Robert Reed, and these are his awesome daughters. So what's your favorite fish, Mackenzie? Oski? So they came by to pick up my Oscar, and Mackenzie's digging on Oski. Do you have a favorite fish, Shayla?
The Texas Big My Dad named Flame.
Flame? Awesome.
And Oscar.
Awesome. Well, say hi to Ron, everybody. Hey, Ron. All right, we'll take it easy. We'll see you later. So yeah, big shout out to you, Robert, faithful Fish Talk Live viewer. Been working a lot, and it's good to see your daughters, Mackenzie and Shayla. Just wanted to give you a shout out. So let's go ahead and get started. This is episode 2, and don't like disappear, okay? Because we still have a live spin to win. There are prizes going to be given on this show during some part of this episode. So I'll be back. Here it is. It's done. And I also have the pleasure to be able to introduce to you your host, Mr. Ron Demers. He's the aquarist, he's the breeder, the fish food chef, and definitely the cichlid lover, and we all love him. Here he is, Mr. Ron Demers.
Thanks, Dave. Good evening, everybody. Glad you all can make it. Exciting. Going to be the second episode. I'm looking forward to it. So.
Absolutely. Let me pull up my chat here so I can see what's going on the chat. So, yeah, we want to give shout outs to people. Tell us who you are, where you're from, what kind of tank you have, what kind of fish you breed or not. And in the meantime, what you can be doing right now is share this program out to your personal page, to your friends' pages that you know that love fish. If you're an admin or a moderator and you want to share this group, do that. Why? Because if we get 100 viewers today, if we get 100 viewers that are on, we're going to skip the whole spin to win process with the other prizes and go straight to the grand prize. grand prize being Ron's going to give you a fish, your choice too. It's not like one that's picked out of the back of the bucket, but your absolute choice, right? So that's a free large fish. So let's do that. Let's do that collectively as a group right now. Let's share this out. Let's get this. Let's get this thing going. So good. I'm reading the chat. Are you looking at it too, there, Ron? We've got Doug Crawford and Dave Cavito, Rob Kinsey. Who else you see on there?
Boy Ivan,
Dennis Kramer.
Dennis.
Yeah. So share it out. Now, here's the thing, too, about the share outs is that if you are an admin of a group and you want to get a little publicity, right? You want to get involved, then go ahead and share it out. Then tell us which group is shared out to so that we can give you shout outs on next week's show. A little bit later, we're going to give some group shout outs. So today's we're starting our topics, and Ron's going to talk to us a little bit about Lake Malawi. The whole Rift Valley lakes, the African lakes, and why don't you tell us a little bit in there too, Ron? I sometimes can overtalk.
We are not self-proclaimed experts on the lakes, but I'm still learning new stuff every day regarding the lakes. We're going to be discussing just the 3 lakes, the different species of fish. We're going to have a video tonight that's going to show some documentary of the lakes. We're going to discuss the requirements of each 3 of the lakes. There's many more lakes than these 3, but these 3 are the main lakes in the hobby, Malawi being the most popular. So we'll probably spend a little bit more time on Lake Malawi. And I'm sure there's going to be some questions towards the end regarding the lakes. So.
Yeah. So basically, the way we're going to be doing the lives every week is that we'll have a topic, and then we'll have live question and answers in the second part of the program. So this week, like we said, Ron specifically is going to be talking about haps and peacocks and mbuna from Lake Malawi. We may touch on Lake Victoria and Lake Tanganyika as well, and talk about some of those fish. Then we'll have a quick break in the middle, and we'll open it up to live questions and answers. We've got the Member of the Week video coming. We've got the Fish of the Week coming up, which is pretty exciting too. And then, of course, we have our giveaway. And talk a little bit about the giveaways and what you've been wanting to do with the show, Ron.
Like Dave said before, we're looking at if we get around 100 members, I want to give away a fish. We're also going to be doing other giveaways. There's probably going to be several throughout each episode. You guys know me by now. We've already talked about it. And if you haven't heard, it's just me wanting to pay it forward to you guys. Most of you have been fantastic customers, and you help promote my business, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I see it every once in a while. There's an occasional naysayer out there, or they don't know me, and you guys jump on board and let them know about me and my business before I even have the opportunity. So
yeah, that happens a lot. There's a lot of haters out there, and part of some of those early strategy meetings that we had together was that I really was impressed by you, Ron, was you were talking about how much competition there was, and all these people very protective about this is my group and my sandbox, and you were saying like, look, there's a lot of cool stuff that we can do together and things like that. So Ron's Demers has made a commitment to not only his business but to his customers to create these experiences, and this show is being one of those experiences for that. Let me look at what we've got. We've got a little flow chart for everyone here, so I don't want to miss that stuff. So there's a couple of mentions. Why don't we go ahead and talk about these mentions real quick? We did some shout outs, and then the mentions are we've got a free giveaway. Now, Ron said that we might give away some fish. Well, there's definitely a possibility, even with the spin to win, the grand prize on the wheel is a free fish, and it doesn't cost you anything, Give a special shout out to Rebecca Dunn, who is helping us out. She is our live chat coordinator. She's monitoring the chat, and she's going to help us pick those people to spin to win. We hope to have them come on the show, call in. We have a call-in number for that. Just, think of this as Howard Stearns for fish nerds. Ron being Howard Stearns.
We're gonna get wigs.
Yeah, we're gonna have some wigs. But some of these mentions are to turn your Facebook Live notifications on. Let me just show you where that's at. If you look here, while you're watching the live in full screen, you see up there that little bell. Turn that bell on. If you turn that bell on every Tuesday before 8 o'clock, you'll get a notification that we're going live. So that's one thing. As well, you're going to want to go into full screen. We've put a lot of effort into the graphics and things, and so it's just a little better to watch on full screen. And then I have, and then sharing and liking. So if you like this program, you kind of like what we're doing, what Ron's wanting to do, like and share and support us. And put that out there. So I think you have some of the mentions as well there, Ron.
Yes, from last week, we had some shares, and am I supposed to talk about that now?
Well, you were going to talk a little bit about the upcoming YouTube channel. We're working all that out, building out that platform.
That's we're working on streaming this to a YouTube channel, so it'll be there all the time. We're not quite there yet, but we are working on it with YouTube. And then
next week, yeah.
Bear with me, guys. Dave's a little more on ball with this than me. I'll get the hang of it.
So actually, we are on YouTube now. If you look, search for Ron Demers, or if you search for FishTalk Live, you will find all the streamed episodes for FishTalk Live on YouTube. The show, and eventually, this kind of stuff will be turned over, and it'll be great when Ron is running it, and he can bring special guests on and experts and things like that. But I think one of the mentions that we were going to point you to, Ron, was about the socials, the groups. So okay. Tell everybody about your groups that you have on Facebook. Everybody wants to know, why does Ron Demers have 6 groups?
Exactly. So as Dave kind of touched on earlier, what we noticed in a lot of other groups, and you don't see me as active on other groups as I used to be, is there's just too much drama. There's too much hate. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. It's just not what we're here for. We're here to help each other, pay it forward. If you've got good information, pass it along. So we have a generalized place for almost everybody, and that's the Ron Demers Cichlid Clubhouse. That's any topic, any fish. That's where the main gathering area is. And then we've broke it down to specialty areas. People who have Mabuna. We have a Mabuna hangout page where we only concentrate on Mabuna. So if you only really want to know about Mabuna, or that's all you want to talk about, you've got a page for that. We've got one for Tanganyikans, which is the Lake Tanganyikan Clubhouse. We've also got one for the Aqua DIY. There's a lot of us that do our own thing when we build filters, we build algae scrubbers, we build all sorts of things. And,
I love that one. It's awesome group.
It's just so many ways that you can do things that doesn't cost very much money. I benchmarked building internal canister filters 25 years ago, and I still run my own stuff every day instead of buying aftermarket stuff. But we also have another one, Amazing Tank Showcase. A lot of interaction there where there's just these amazing tanks that if we all won the Powerball, that's what we'd have.
Yeah.
But just a beautiful tanks, and some of them aren't even that big. It's just there's this other realm where people make these tanks with plants and stuff in them, like bonsai trees and stuff. They're just amazing. They look real, and you don't even believe there's water in there except there's fish. We also have a Aquarius Marketplace. That is a buy, sell, trade page that there's really not much going on there yet. But
yeah, we're kind of we're checking out the different kind of ways that we want to do
out, basically which direction we're going to go with that. Yeah. And then there's one more, which is New World Cichlid Hangout. That's more for your South American, Central American. Yeah. And you're not going to see as much traffic there. There's just not as many people in the hobby keeping those, but it's there. I mean, it gives people a sense of being, that sense of a fish that they really, really like, that they belong. So we may have a few more in the future. We may take away a few. It just depends on the interaction.
Yeah, these groups are pretty cool. They're slow in growing. We knew that when coming out. We knew that there was going to be a main group, but we kind of wanted this organic build of these different places that people can go to and check them out. So if you're not part of those groups, check them out. You'll see them. They're all linked. If you're a member of the Ron Cichlid Clubhouse, you're automatically approved to be in any of these other groups. So go ahead and check those out. So one thing I wanted to do, we don't have an announcement. Remember, we talked a little bit, Ron, but we are in the process of some sponsorships for this show. And what I wanted to do is I want everybody to blow up the chat right now. Blow it up. Tell us who your favorite aquatics company is. If it's Seachem or if it's API or Tetra or Cordon or Fluval or Finex, just blow up the chat right now. Just start telling us who your favorite aquatics company is. And do that and blow it up. And we'll want to see where everybody leans towards, whether it's filter companies or chemical companies or all that. So do that. Tell us what you like. What's your favorite? Waiting for the chat to blow up on that. During that, why don't I talk about the giveaways that are coming up in a little bit? We're going to start the topic here first. These are just kind of new business, kind of if we're in a meeting, what's on the agenda. Our giveaway rules. So we have a spin to win, and it's not always at the end of the show. It might be at the end of the show, middle of the show, front of the show. But if we get 100 people, we're going to just go straight to the grand prize. You must be present on the live to claim the prize, and you have to do that within 1 minute, or we will redraw for someone else to spin to win. There's no cash value implied, even though there's some great value that Ron is putting out there, which is just awesome. Some of the prizes may require you to pay shipping. It all depends. And then each person may only win once per month. Winners are ineligible for giveaways for the rest of the month. So if you win today, you won't be able to spin for the rest of the month, but you will in December. So let's see, I got one more still in green here. So I've got mine that are in green that I'm reading, and Ron's got his in red. This is low tech. We are not experts. We're not superstars. We are not, even though we, love Howard Stearns. I'm not no Howard Stearns. Neither is Ron. But
I don't know. You sound like a groupie. You've been talking about him a lot.
Yeah, I love him. Let me get close on the microphone and get sexy about Mr. Howard Stearns. Anyway, so we are looking for moderators for these groups that we talked about. So if
Need some help.
Yeah. So if you have some experience with social media and you'd like to help out Ron Cichlid, be a part of something that is really growing. Many of you already know, you're seeing what Ron is doing, and you're like, wait a minute, this guy's got something cool going on. Just hit up Ron, send him a message through his Facebook page, and let him know that you're interested in becoming a moderator. And that leaves the last two for you, Ron, and then we'll move on.
All right. You'll see in the show, I'm going to be running a Veterans Day promotion. As most of you know, we've spoke about it before. I am a veteran, and Veterans Day is one of the most important holidays for me. I run a promotion every year, and this year is no different. I will be running a 10% off for everybody starting Saturday till Sunday midnight. It's Saturday and Sunday in observance of Veterans Day. For all veterans, you will get an additional 10%, which will be a total of 20% off.
Yeah, we've got a little promo. Okay, so obviously in the rerun, this is talking about last year's Veterans Day, and we just had a great Veterans Day sale on Ron Cichlid's. But anyway, just so that you guys know, keeping everybody informed that we are in rerun mode. We're watching episode number 2, and we are getting to the content right now real soon. Unfortunately, with the software that I use to stream, it doesn't allow me to fast forward through the video, so we just got to go ahead and bear through these last little parts. But I'm digging being able to, be on the chat right now and talking to people and all of that. Hey, go ahead and if you haven't, give it a like. Reach up there and click like. I see we only got 24 on there. I know we've had over 40-something people already. Come on, give us a like. We've had 72 shares. We appreciate you.
Also, shout out to Tulsa Freshwater Hobbyist, Cichlid Breeders Association, 420 Cichlids, Mike.
Yeah, that last one, nah. We're not supporting that. Actually, three of the dudes from there are really cool. The one guy's a little, I don't know, off the hitchy.
Cichlid Madness, my boy Gigi.
Right on, Gigi. Yeah.
Cichlid Society of Southern California from Isaac. North Florida Fish Keepers, and Wicked OBs, Cichlids, Stephanie.
We don't know how to say your last name, Stephanie, so I have it here in alphabet, like hyphenated, whatever you call it. Is
Prudante.
Yeah, it looks like Prudante. I don't know. So you'll have to let us know, Stephanie, if that's what it's going to go. All right. So I got the first half of the topic. So we're going to be talking about the Great African Lakes, or the Rift Valley African Lakes. Most of us that are in the hobby, or if you're buying fish from Ron, you're buying fish that are generally out of Lake Malawi. Those are your haps and peacocks and all that. But my part on this is I was going to show a little bit about the geography, and I've got something special, little toys, techno toys here. So I've got Google Earth here, and I just thought we could look at the area and what those lakes look like and how they are. So here's Africa. You've got your Egypt up top, your west coast and your east coast. This is mostly on the eastern part of Africa, the Great Rift Lakes, and you can see those lakes now coming into view. Lake Victoria is the top one. The long one in the middle is Tanganyika, and the one on the bottom there is Malawi. So we'll just kind of zoom into Malawi. Looking at the countries that are involved here. So for like Lake Victoria here on the top, part of it's in Kenya, part of it's in Uganda, part of it's in Tanzania. So that's Lake Victoria. One of the cool things that I learned today when I was out doing my homework about Lake Victoria is that Lake Victoria actually drains into the Nile River that goes through Egypt into the Mediterranean. So that was pretty cool, checking that out. Here's a little bit bigger zoom on Tanganyika. And one of the reasons I wanted to kind of talk about this in this way, and we can zoom this around and look at it, is that a lot of our fish, they have scientific names, but they're also associated with locations. And you can go to Google Earth and you can find these locations. So one of my favorite fish from Tanganyika is your Tropheus. And then if I zoom in down here, boom, let me put it in 2D. You see right there, Kasonga? So if anybody knows the Kasonga Tropheus, that's the red rainbow. It's one of my favorites. I have one of those. So, I mean, you can actually go to Google Earth and you can zoom in and you can see the different parts of the lake. So,
they're called collection points. You know, people ask all the time. We're going to touch on this. Sorry to interject.
No, please do.
People ask all the time, why is there one species but 5 or 6 different variations? Let's say like a flavescent. You have Eucissa, you have blue dorsal, you have all these. Most of the time that name is in the genus name because that's where it was collected. You may have like frontosas and Lake Tanganyika, they're all frontosas, but they're collected from Kigoma, or like what I have behind my shoulder, over this shoulder, wild-caught MOBA frontosas. So you'll see that in the name. So if any of you, I get asked that question sometimes, when you see that name in there, that's actually where it collected. And what Dave's showing you is you can actually go see on Google Earth where your fish originated from, that part of the lake. It's pretty neat. Yeah,
so here's Kigoma Bay, right here on the northern part of Lake Tanganyika. And if I zoom out here real quick, you can go to 2D. And then spin this back around. You can see here the country of Burundi is right here on the northern part. And, of course, your Burundi, Frontosas and Kigoma and all that. So the Tanganyika is the largest lake. And if we go to like this and bring this back and zoom out, go back to 2D and bring it up here. Let me show you this. This is kind of really amazing. So now I have a distance meter here. And if I go from the top of the lake, I guess we can go in 2 points and go here. That's 400 miles long, a lake 400 miles long. Now, if you go from the top of Florida to the south tip of Florida, that's 400 miles. So the whole state of Florida, lengthwise, is the same as Tanganyika. That was an interesting thing there. To give you another, like, outside of fish things that were kind of cool here was that, flamingos, right? I love flamingos. Over here, if you look just to the west, a lot of us know Africa because of the Serengeti. So here's where the Serengeti is. That's your lions and zebras and giraffes and all that. It's right there kind of between Lake Victoria, right here, on the top, and then Lake Tanganyika there. This lake right here that's being shown, Lake Natron. Lake Natron has some real serious water parameters, right, Ron? You were telling me.
Yeah, very caustic.
Yeah, caustic, a lot of soda, and there's not a lot of life in the water except for these crustaceans and things. But that's the largest population of flamingos is Lake Natron. And flamingos are actually pink because of that caustic water and all of that. So that's that. And let's speed it up a little bit. So Lake Tanganyika is bordered by Congo, Burundi, Tanzania, and a little bit of Zambia. We come down to Lake Malawi here, and that one is Mozambique, Tanzania. There we go, Mozambique, Tanzania, and Zambia, and Malawi, the country of Malawi. So this was a pretty cool one. If you guys know me, I have a lot of mbuna, and so the two biggest places on Lake Malawi where the fisheries and all that are going to be Cape Maclear, which is right here, and Monkey Bay. So if you go there to do any kind of diving, that's where you usually end up. That's where the hotels are and all that. And then the real popular place here is Lakoma, and you might recognize that Kobu, Mbuna, and all that kind of cool stuff. So anyway, hopefully, if you have any questions, go ahead and write those down or whatever. Live questions and answers. We'll try to answer those questions and all of that. Come bring us back. So I did my part, Ron. There you go. I did my presentation. Yeah. Yeah. So we are going to watch that video, right, Ron? We have a short video.
We're getting close to our 100 viewers.
Awesome. So we're going to watch this short video. It just talks a lot about Lake Malawi. It was better than what we could do, basically. Ron and I talked, and it's like better than what we could do. After the video, Ron's going to come back, and he's going to tell you specifically about certain fish that we collect, the peacocks, haps, and mbuna from Lake Malawi. So let's go ahead and check that out.
Cichlids are the world's most abundant species of fish. Their amazing ability to adapt to various habitats makes them evolutionary marvels, and there are literally thousands of varieties. They're also one of the only fish species to actively take care of their young. The humble cichlid is found in freshwater lakes in Central and South America and Africa. But nowhere are there more species than here in Lake Malawi. At the foot of the Great Rift Valley lies Lake Malawi. It's Africa's third largest lake and has existed relatively undisturbed for thousands of years. It was declared a World Heritage Site in the 1970s due to its biological importance. And it's obvious that an astonishing underwater ecosystem has developed here. It's simply teeming with fish. Lake Malawi is almost completely landlocked, and this huge body of water isn't fed by any major rivers. The cichlids have the entire lake to themselves. Because of this, they've had to compete with each other for all the available space and resources, and they've become experts at adapting to specific niche environments, whether it's the rocks, the weeds, or the sand. In fact, the cichlid fish species diversity is over 60 times greater than the famous Darwin's finches found in the Galapagos Islands, another World Heritage Site. Under the water, clouds of many, many different species of little fish await the team. The lake's underwater world is divided into various micro-environments, and Tumby Island represents the weed-free rocky zone. The fish tend to stay in defined territories that they've adapted to. The little yellow and blue cichlid swims around the top of a small boulder, this being its chosen niche. These small fish have colonized every square meter of habitat in this lake, some feeding on the sunny side of the rocks, some pecking, and some dredging sand. They appear in hundreds of different colors, some bright with iridescent yellow cheeks, some pale with purple spots, and some drab, safely blending into the background. Some fish are fiercely territorial, chasing others off their patch. Some are also big. This blue specimen is about 20 centimeters or almost 8 inches long. All these cichlids are related. This huge family tree has blossomed from small roots, so many cichlid traits are shared. Two major ones being the distinct spots on the anal fin and their tremendous concern for their young.
All right, so we are back. Video cuts a little short, but you know what? Things are going really smooth, Ron. Not like last week. So I want to make sure your microphone came back on. Is that right?
Yep.
All right, cool.
I'm here. Alrighty.
Awesome. So we are now, Ron, why don't you just take the remainder part of this time here and just tell us a little bit about those specific fish that we're all just goo for gaga. I mean, if you look at Facebook, all we do is post pictures and videos and comment on other people's stuff. And if, you know, anybody out there is like me, I love my fish, man. You know, so tell us some about some of the fish that you sell, but, you know, that we're all in love with.
As you all know, we have 3 lakes. I've kept all 3 lakes. I started with Malawi, and I'm still with Malawi 26 years later. I've raised and bred Tanganyikans, Victorians, Malawans, and by far, I still love the Malawans. Not poo-poo in any of the other lakes, but as far as just a vast array of colors and fish and size and selection, Malawi's hard to beat. So from Lake Malawi, you've got 2 major groups of fish. You've got the haplochromines and you have a tilapia. We know of the haplochromines, which are then broken down to haps and peacocks and mabuna and stuff like that. They all share different parts of the lake. I sell mainly Malawans. Peacocks are very popular, but haps have dominated the industry in the last 2 to 3 years. By far, there is more haps available from most places and than any other fish. I've watched it change in the last few years, and can't blame them. Most of my customers have started off peacocks, haps, or mabuna, and they fall in love with haps for some reason. I think it's the color. I think it's the size, the beefiness. Just and me, I've migrated to the big guys, like the Malawi hawks and the trouts and the manly fish, it just, you look at them, you're like, man, if I put my finger in there, I'm going to lose it.
Yeah, this is where my microphone is off for some reason.
In the case of Mbuna, most of us know, and if you don't, we'll go over that. Mbuna basically spend their entire day grazing algae from rocks. Their main diet is vegetation, but realize that you've all seen it. You've had a fish die in your tank, and then when you discover it's dead, half of it's gone. Most of these species are scavengers. I don't care if it's a trophus, I don't care what species it is. If it's a strict vegetarian diet, it needs protein, and they will eat animal matter, other fish, snails, crabs, whatever. So in the case of Mbuna for Lake Malawi, they're strict vegetarians. Me personally, I do give them a fair amount of protein, and I have no issue whatsoever with that diet as long as there's enough vegetation in their diet to help with digestion. Haps and peacocks are typically either going to be predators or piscivores. They're going to look for, you all notice that your fish are sifting through the sand, and no matter how much they've been line bred, you can't get that out of them. That's wild. In the wild, they'll sift through the sand and they'll pull out these organisms and they'll eat them and spit out the sand. So you'll see that behavior. And for any of you wanting to know why that behavior exists, you can't breed it out of them. It's hardwired in them.
I can just make something up here.
Mbuna are very popular. They're pet store $5-10 fish. That's what most entry level people start with because it's what they see at the local fish store. So the big top 5 hitters are typically orange zebras, yellow labs, mangano. Manganos are blue and purple striped.
Yeah, still have a
Rhodes,
microphone.
Kenyais are very popular. Bumblebees are popular until people have them for a while and realize they're tank wreckers. Suckalafis, these are what you're normally going to see at your local Petco, PetSmart, Walmart, whoever sells fish, in assorted Mbunas. And then you've got a lot of specialty Mbunas. I've seen the industry go as a roller coaster, and these days people are looking for more specific, harder to find Mbuna. They don't want the pet store versions anymore. They don't want what everybody else has. They want something.
I gotta interrupt you. So apparently that I was muted. Remember, you were supposed to look over my shoulder and make sure I wasn't muted. So anyway, thank you everybody from the chat. So yeah, talk to us about the peacocks. Like, which peacocks are?
So peacocks are some of the most elegant of the Malawans. Peacocks, you've got the regals, you've got flavescents, sunshines, malarais, so many types of peacocks. They typically don't get much bigger than 6 or 7 inches. Dragon bloods and OBs will get bigger, but understand that these are man-made hybrids. Nothing wrong with that. I love both of them, but because they're man-made and they've been hybridized fish typically grow bigger than Mother Nature intended either one of the parent species to be. Peacocks end up being a little more passive for most of the species.
How do you pronounce that name, Ron? Alanakara? I can't.
Alanakara.
Alanakara.
Yeah.
So
Alanakara is the main peacock species.
You're my guy. So like on how to pronounce, and it's weird because we all read it and then we pronounce it the way we want in our head. What was the Scophili one? How do you say that one?
Well, the Suckalafai
that's right.
That's a pseudotrophus. That's a Mbuna.
Yeah.
Something else you have to realize, and I don't know why they keep doing this, but every once in a while, someone will get a hair up their ass and just decide to rename a fish.
Yeah.
Like there's several of them that have been renamed from Pseudotrophus to Metroclima. They'll just keep flip flopping. Like Mangano has changed to something else yet again. I'm old school. I'm going to call it Mangano for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
But peacocks, they're a little more elegant. They don't get as big. They're a little more passive, but sometimes they'll take even a little bit longer to color up. I think this is the reason why haps have really become popular. The haps are a little tougher, a little stronger, a little less intimidated. Will typically show their colors earlier in some cases.
So I know we get this on the group a lot. What are some of the different? Tell us the difference between like your standard hap that's like a friery or whatever, and a predator hap. So a
Cynochromis frieri is what the industry nicknames electric blue ollie. Yeah. It's not a true ollie, but that's what the hobby has nicknamed them. They're an entry level hap that is very, very popular, 4 to 6 inches, typically max out 6 or 7 inches. Now, that's it. That's as big as they're going to get. Don't underestimate them. They're a pain in the ass, pound for pound. They can be a tough guy. Then you start moving into predator hap. So in Lake Malawi, you've got fish that hang around the rocks. That's where they spend most of their life. And then you've got which are typically Mabuna, smaller fish. Then you've got these larger peacocks and haps that hang around the outcroppings, and they venture out to a certain degree for their food. And then you've got predator haps. This is no different than watching National Geographic, and all the cute little fishies are sleeping at night, and the sharks aren't. And the sharks are looking for them.
What are some of those names for them?
You've got Tyrannochromis species, which just the name itself inflicts fear.
Yeah.
You've got Aristochromis christi, Malawi hawks. You've got Champsochromis carulis, which is Malawi trout. These fish are gonna get some size to them in the aquarium hobby. In a closed environment, they're typically going to see 10 to, let's say, 14 inches. I know when you look them up online, they're going to state they get bigger. They rarely do in a closed environment type. These fish, don't shy away from them. Don't think they're going to eat all of your fish, but if you feed them a pelletized diet, they're not going to typically target another fish to eat them, but it is a possibility. These are bigger fish that require bigger space. Fuscos.
Buco, was that one?
Bucochromis, absolutely. Good mention. These fish are going to get some size to them. Consider something 150 gallons or bigger, on most cases. But they're beautiful. And some people just don't want a whole bunch of small fish. They want like a smaller quantity of big fish. And everybody who starts off with one take ends up with a lot of them. I'm sure we could have a topic one day that says, what's your first tank? Now, how many do you have? So, just a shout out to Ivan. Ivan was asking earlier, on the clubhouse, hey, I've got a Malawi tank. I'm thinking Tanganyikan or a Mabuna or something else next time. What do you think? It's an addiction. You want other types. And there's nothing wrong with mixing species, and I don't care who's a purist. I'm not into that, okay? You can mix species, you know what you're doing, and the care is being given to them. But with Malawans, try to keep Mabuna separate. The only reason I say that is because of their diet and because, as we know, they are aggressive. Peacocks and haps are good together. But no matter what you decide to put together, just consult somebody who knows what the hell they're talking about.
So because I'm kind of the director involved with the flow of this show, why don't we do this? Let's open this conversation up in the Ron Demers Cichlid Clubhouse. Join the group. If you haven't joined already, please do. Like Ron Cichlid's page. We are going to hear from our sponsors real quick, and when we come back, we are going to have a live questions and answers. So have your questions ready. We'll be reading them from this point of the chat on. Like I said, we're going to talk about sponsors. Now, if you have an aquatic company or if you work for an aquatic company and you like this show, you like this format, and you would like to be a sponsor on this show, please contact me, Dave Gould, or Ron Demers for that information, and we'll get that to you. So we're going to listen to our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to say I am proud of the time I spent in the United States Navy. This is a great country, made great by the men and women who serve and have served in the United States Armed Forces. It is my honor and pleasure to offer a special discount to our veterans. If you are active military or a veteran, please let me know so I can do my part and honor you for your service.
Veterans Day is this Sunday, November 11th. We are running a Veterans Day promotion to honor and celebrate our veterans. All weekend long, everything on the store is 10% off. You can use the code Veterans Day 2018. Plus, if you are a veteran, you will receive an additional 10% off. Just contact me for your coupon code.
Okay, everybody, I was just reading through the live here, and pretty funny. Someone said, calling us out, why do you say it's live when it's not live? Well, here's the thing. You got a couple of old men sitting in their underwear in front of cameras, and it's very difficult for us to read the chat and do all this and operate this big television show and everything like that. So,
but it is live.
But it is live. Let me get his name so I can. His name passed up. It is live.
What's up,
100% live. Absolutely live.
It's not exactly live tonight.
Let's go. Not exactly live tonight, but we are going to give some stuff away. Let's go ahead and let Ron and I guess myself, Dave, answer some questions here. I'm going to go ahead and bring him back. Number 5. Right on, Craig.
Shout out to all my United States Navy brothers.
Yeah, and Kim Nelson says she's a wife of a Marine vet, so that's awesome. It's live, baby. You know it, Kevin. So we're monitoring the chat. I got my old man glasses on here, and I think I can read my own little thing here. Pedro Capellas wants to know if he can keep, now you're going to make me say this, Antiloprophagus compressiceps.
Nope, you butchered it. Stop now.
Can you read it?
Also, Lamprologus compressiceps.
With frontosa long
with
term.
frontosa. Yes, what people don't realize is a compressiceps will get a good solid 6 inches. I know you don't see them very often, but they will. If they're raised together at a small size, absolutely. Frontosa get a bad rap. People think they're big fish and they're mean. They are pussycats. They are probably one of the most docile fish I've ever had in my entire life. You can put them with just about anything. And typically they're not going to stick up for themselves. So you have to be careful. So if you start them off all together small, absolutely you can have them together.
Mm-hmm.
I had compressiceps in my 250-gallon show tank with 10 to 12-inch haps and peacocks. No problems. You'd be surprised. Diet is the same as everybody else.
All right. So last week's video of the week, guys, Scott McBride. How you doing, Scott? Good to have you on the show. Scott's asking, how is a German strain different? Or if you can explain what that's all about.
Good question. What the Germans did long time ago is they were one of the first people to get direct feeds of fish from Lake Malawi. What they started doing is line breeding. And then this is what you see here behind my shoulder. You also have seen pictures of my German strain yellow blaze. So what the Germans have done is they've line bred, meaning, okay, you've got a black dog and a white dog, and you want a Dalmatian looking dog. You keep breeding the subsequent best of the best of the best until you can perfect what you're looking for. Like for the German yellow blaze that I have, they have yellow all the way down the side. So what I do is I only allow that male to breed all of those females that you see back there. I'll then take his offspring, and then I'll hand pick through all of them and find the best of the best to continue the next line. And as I do that, I fine tune the lineage. That's what the Germans did long time ago. They're still doing it, and they're very, very good at it.
All right, so let's go. I saw one up here. I can't see the name now.
So I saw a few of them. One was,
okay, go ahead.
They were asking me how the wild caughts are caught. There's several methods.
And can you talk about F1 too, Gregory Pyle? So that kind of goes together.
I'll go right into that after this. The way they catch them is they net them. Old school, they would use a sedative slurp gun type of way where they would mist a powdery liquid that would kind of make them dozy, and then a slurp gun would actually suck them out. They don't do that anymore. They actually, that we know of, they catch them with nets. Some fish, like the Moba frontosa that are over my shoulder, they come from 140 to 150 feet deep. The divers actually go down and they net them, and then they put them in cages. And for 3 days, they bring them to the surface slowly to decompress them. And then it takes 3 to 4 weeks for them to adjust to sunlight. So depending on the depth of the lake and where the species is collected, they can be netted pretty easy. A regular Burundi frontosa is caught in 3 feet of water next to the fishing boats. They've been trained like SeaWorld over the years that, hey, when the fishermen come back, here's my free food, and they can catch them right there. So going into F ratings, you don't see it as much as you used to, but wild caught fish are wild caught fish. It's called F0. When you breed a wild caught fish to a wild caught fish, the offspring is considered F1. It's
first generation.
one off.
First generation, right?
Yes. And then when you breed F1s, and your offspring is now F2, and so on and so forth. Usually, we only keep track of F0, F1, F2. You realistically never see anybody list F3, F4, F4 in fish sales. But these days, it's all muddled up. You don't really know if it's an F1 or a F0. There's very little paperwork anymore that's being brought over with the fish.
And it's hard to prove, right?
Very
Right,
difficult to prove.
people claim it all the
personally
time.
seen the papers,
Yeah.
but there was no proof for me. I personally went to the place. I handpicked my fish. I saw the import papers, but that was for his eyes and my eyes only. That was his import papers. They don't share. Most places don't share that information. So, yes, I like the idea of wild caught because you want a pure fish. The problem is some of these lakes, like Lake Victoria, it's in rough shape, people.
Yeah.
It's been abused and raped. I'm sorry for that word, for so many years from the people who live around it, and that lake is in rough shape. It being invasive species, population, pollution, over harvest. The lake's in bad shape. Victoria has a lot of red listed fish because of that.
It's probably hard to have a direct lineage. Ivan was wondering what generations are they, but they're probably down there in the 10th, 12th, 50th.
It depends on it depends on what I have. Like my German strainer behind me, they're German strain. When you have a fish like that, that's a line bred fish. There is no F rating. And for the most cases, F rating really doesn't matter. Some people aren't going to like that answer, but the reality is 90% of people I interact with don't care. They're looking for a certain fish, certain color.
Speaking of fish, we have our next segment to move on to. So I want everyone to know that this show is very much a work in progress, and we're going to figure out ways to adjust it to make it work better. We want the show to be exactly 1 hour long. It might go a little bit longer today. What we might have to do is just set the topic early on in the show, Ron, and just say there it is, and then bring it all to questions and answers or whatnot. But we've got the fish of the week, speaking of fish, and Ron's picked out an amazing fish of the week. So let's take a look here. So this fish that Ron picked out is going to be on sale until Thursday. And why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about the fish, Ron?
Beautiful species. Absolutely. This is the first species I bred and raised when I started 26 years ago. It's Copetochromis azuris. Also nicknamed Haplochromis chrysanthus, the old school name you just don't hear very much anymore. Pound for pound, you can't beat the blue. I don't care what fish you want to bring up. You're not going to beat the intense blue of a beautiful male Copetochromis azuris. The finnage on them is amazing. They color up generally at a 3.5 inches at most. These guys here that you see in the picture are two of mine that the bigger one in the back is an extra large and the one in front of them is a large plus. So you're looking at 4.25 to 4.5 fish. And I didn't have the best lighting, but anybody who's owned one or has seen one knows that the face has got some green in it. And when the light hits them, buddy, you're not going to find a better blue than that.
Nice.
Absolutely beautiful fish. Every time I look at them in the vat, people ask me, even today I had a customer come by and goes, "What is that blue fish?" I'm like, "That's an azuris." I know exactly what you're pointing at. And I have them with my Ali, and they look almost identical, and I pull them up and put them in the sunlight, and there's no denying an azuris is a beautiful fish.
All right, that's a great pick for this week. We're going to use the code WEEK2FISH. If you want this fish, normally they're $35, Ron? $32?
Anywhere between 30 to 35, depends on the size.
So go ahead and take 25% off. That's like saving it almost $10, $8 to $10, depending on the size fish that you get. That's going to be available through Thursday using the code WEEK2FISH. All right, well, that is episode number 2 of Fish Talk Live. Super awesome. And let me jump right into a little bit of something or else here.
You have a choice right now, today.
We like
you
to
can remain
support
indifferent, or you can choose to act boldly, wisely.
FourOceans.org.
What will you choose?
FourOceans.com. Anyway, so it is about that time. Let's do this. We are now live again. Actually, really good odds tonight. You got 19 people on. 19 people made it this long. I guess some people figured out that, like, hey, you know, maybe I'll just chill. I'll come back later. Anyway, you want to win something? Type in spin to win right now. Hashtag spin to win. Hashtag spin to win. Come on now. Hashtag spin to win. So if I'm going to run you through a picker, and if we pick you from the hashtag, then you will go ahead and you will spin the spin to win wheel. So let's see who we can do. Come on, light up the chat right now. Spin to win. Hashtag spin to win. You can see it right there scrolling down on the bottom part. Let's do this. All right, we got a little bit longer. Again, you can see it right there in the ticker at the bottom. Hashtag spin to win. It's 3 words, no spaces. Spin to win. Looks like Kaylee Nyberg's in. Looks like Peter Cruz is in. Brent Bonstetter's in. Come on now. Spin to win. I'm going to put myself in there. Let's see if I can win. Spin to win. All right, everybody. Spin to win is the hashtag. Get that in there right now. You have to be on. So if I pick your name and I call your name out, you need to, all right, so here we go. Looking, I've got the live behind me, and here's what the wheel looks like. Yeah, and then here's our picker. So we've got it right. Come on now. There we go. So let me pick out from posts off of our Facebook. Yes, this is how we create our magic. We have special software. Pretty expensive software, but it's really good stuff. All right, so this is what we do: is we go over here to posts, and then we comment picker, I guess I want to call it. Okay, making me jump through hoops. Okay, so here's all the posts right here. You see it right here at the top that I'm highlighting. We're gonna pick a winner from there. You know how I do this. You know how I do it. So. The first winner that pops up is not the winner. It's actually, I use this to make sure it's working and to reset the system. Usually I can unpick them. Sorry about that. But then I can come back up here and I can pick from these different hashtags. Looks like some people misspelled and didn't get it. It's spin to win. That's how it looks right there. Let's see. See, right here's the hashtag. You see that right above my head there? Wow. Calvis. See it right there? Hashtag spin to win. So when I come down here and say pick winner, boom, we have a winner. So the winner for this is Dave Gould. No, Maria Evans. Maria Evans, if you are on there, let me show everybody that you came up there. Just do that. Oh, there's our Calvis. All right, so there we go. Maria Evans. Awesome. Super glad you are there. Someone please tell me if she is on. All right. Okay, so let me come over here to this. Let's see, Maria Evans, are you on there? Kevin's there. Yes, Kelsey's still trying to start up a new tank. Super glad we could do it this way. This helps out. You know, Ron. Oh, I see. We got a double thing going on here. How weird is that? Well, I'm looking at different stuff here. I'm trying to this is so crazy. What is going on? All right, let me just pull up the wheel. There's the wheel. Let's do this. I'm sick of this Calvis. Let me hit this fade. Okay. So I'm looking to see if Marie is there. She's here, according to Mindy. A special shout out to Mindy out in West Virginia. She's our chat moderator and for tonight and feeding the questions. If you guys have any questions, feel free to pop those in. She'll send them to me right now if you have any questions. We are going to go live next week, back with Ron Demers, hopefully. That's the plan, but you know how things go sometimes. So she's here. So what does that mean? That means we get to go here to the wheel. There's the wheel. I don't know why. I just can't get this to work the way I want it to. Here we go. Don't leave yet. Let me see how many people are still on. Don't leave. There's 2 reasons why you don't want to leave. Okay, that's because there is a special thing at the end of the show, and you never know, we may spin again. So let's do this right here. This is the Fish Talk Live page, by the way. You were asking about all the episodes. You can see right here all of the episodes, at least all the way up through 45 so far are on there. You can watch them directly. You can access that through the URL, which is Ron Demers. RonCichlids.com, but you can also do just fishtalk.tv, and that will get you there. So let me find the wheel. There's the wheel. Okay, this is for you. I'll have a drum roll. I'm going to go ahead and pick the yellow one over here at 3, and I'm going to bring it around back to 3 is what I want to do. So there's the yellow one. I'm going to circle it around to 3. Best of luck to you, to Marie. You have won something. We just don't know what it is yet, and here we go. And awesome. $10 gift card. So that's just the same as cash. $10 gift card for Ron Cichlids. Congratulations. So, trying to think here. Let me pull myself back. That's my old Mbuna tank. Speaking of really cool Mbuna. There's a lot of great fish from Ron Demers in there. We've got a lot of really cool stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks on with Ron's platform. So be ready for that. And special thanks to Marie. Kevin saying, yeah, spin it again. I don't actually have the, there are costs to this show, and we don't ask any of the viewers for any money or anything. We just promote what's going on. So it's not my call to run another spin, but next week we'll see what we can do. I'm thinking that there's going to be a raffle soon. So if you guys want a raffle, put it in the chat right now. What you would like to raffle for. We can do like lights, we can do current lights, Phoenix lights, we can do fluval lights, we can do all kinds of things, filters, big boxes of fish, little boxes of fish, aquarium maintenance supplies, do big food raffles, whatever. Yeah, just put it in there if you're into it. Yep, like I said, congratulations to Marie Evans. Thank you so much. Don't forget, Marie, that you do have to go on to both Ron Cichlid's page and Fish Talk Live page and give us a like. We will check up on that to make sure that that's the case. We appreciate you, everybody. Like I said, after the closing credits, there is a little special treat. So until next time, we'll see you then. And everybody have a great week and a great weekend.